my name is Pastor Catherine Lyle. I serve Sandpoint United Methodist Church way up in North Idaho. Recently, I went to this thing called the Wild Goose Festival, and it's all these different authors and books and theology and musicians and podcasts, and they all collaborate. But it was North Carolina, and it's hot, so you can only absorb so much new information, so many new ideas, and so many new things. And so you find yourself there listening to musicians. And as the week progressed, I would listen to this musician or that musician. But there was one musician that was amazing. I just had to go to the stage, went and danced with the people. And as I looked back, there was 4 new rows behind me. This singer, Flamey, she brought this group up and we all came. And then I remember thinking, this music is awesome. I've never heard songs. I've never heard words of wisdom in this way. I really wanted her autograph. So I wait, and I'm standing in this long line, and the night is getting darker and darker, but at least it's cool. And I finally get the autograph, and I was very excited, and I shared my appreciation and peculiarities. I thought in that moment, I wonder if that's what Nicodemus had done. If the story of Nicodemus, him kind of coming over to Jesus's window and throwing a rock late at night saying, "Jesus, I have a few questions." Because oftentimes he's characterized as that person who is too afraid to ask the questions in the light, or that person that didn't believe, or that Pharisee that should have known but didn't. And yet he asked these questions. And I kind of wonder, and I thought with Nicodemus, back then Jesus had at least a couple buddies with him, friends, people, and sleeping in numbers was safety, right? So maybe perhaps for Nicodemus, he finally heard a prophet that brought him to the stage, somebody that spoke to him. And maybe he didn't wait till nighttime because that was the only time to come to Jesus. Maybe that was the only time he could find to ask those questions. Maybe that was the only time where everybody else had fallen asleep and he had his moment to ask, why this and why that, and born again. And maybe he wasn't this person in the shadow asking why. Maybe he was the person who stayed for the entire discussion, all the meals, stayed late into the night, held his questions, continued pondering, just needed to know. And so he asked those questions, and so he made it his way through. My encouragement for all of you is to stay for the long run, to stay engaged, to continue wondering and pondering. And when you hear something that speaks to your heart and brings you to your feet or to your knees, to go without shame. I mean, the history books might get it wrong and you'll be depicted as that one that, only talked to Jesus at night, but at least you'll have a few extra answers. At least you'll become that much closer to holiness. Go in peace and ask for questions.